Hey, what's up? Coach Ryan from the Fat Loss Solution, and I'm here today hopefully to simplify what can be quite a complicated topic in the world of fat loss. I get this question all the time. Coach Ryan, what is the #1 best diet? Well, today I'm going to give you that answer. I'm going to tell you what the world's best diet is. And the answer may shock you. No, it's not the metabolic diet. No, it's not IIFYM. No, it's not ketogenic. No, it's not high carb. No, it's not low carb. You're starting to scratch your head and wonder what it is? I'll give you a hint. It's not the Mediterranean diet, not the zone diet. The best diet, world's best diet, hands down, #1, is the one that you will be able to follow for an extended period of time that still gets results. So what do I mean by that? If you were to ask me what's the best diet to get in shape in 8 weeks, I could probably give you a more specific answer to that. And we get into talking about macros and energy balance and activity levels and basal metabolism and all that. But a problem I see in the industry today is a lot of people, they seek out this world's best diet and they go crazy for 8 weeks, hard, intense, focused dieting, training, all that. And they may lose a ton of weight, but then all of a sudden they fall off the wagon or they can't stick to it anymore because it's too restrictive or the calories are too low. And then people end up fatter than they were the first time around. Well, this doesn't make sense to me. The best diet is the one that you're going to be able to sustain for a long period of time, whatever that may be. Okay, so some people do really well on ketogenic diets. I know a lot of people that just do meat and veggies and high fats, and they stick with that almost indefinitely. It makes them feel good. It controls their blood sugar. That's awesome. I've done that for extended periods of time, and it works well for me to a point. I know other people that need a little bit of carbs in their diet to stay on the wagon and function optimally. This is me, for example. Ketogenic diets work great for me for a while, but then I struggle to eat enough meat to keep up my calorie requirements. I end up eating too few calories, and I get lethargic, metabolism slows, I don't have great workouts. So I tend to do better by adding in a little bit of carbs, a little bit of rice here and there, some oats, some fruit. So a moderate carb diet works best for me and is most sustainable. Some people, heck, I'll be honest, some people do great on high carb diets all the time. Got a buddy at the gym, he eats 500 grams of carbs a day, stays lean year round, and that's how he functions. If I were to tell him to do a low carb diet, he'd do it for about a week. He'd probably lose all his muscle mass because his metabolism is so efficient that he needs those carbs to function and to maintain his muscle mass because he's so insulin sensitive. So for him, a ketogenic diet would be a crappy diet, while maybe someone who's 30% body fat, ketogenic diet hits the nail on the head. But the other thing to consider is that it has to work for the long term. And what I mean by that is, if it means, I'll give you a classic example. I'll give you a real world practical example of how this works. I had a weight loss client who was pretty fat, okay? Over 35% body fat, okay? So medically defined as obese. Now this client, by all means, should have functioned really well on a ketogenic diet. So low carb, high protein, high fat. That's what even the medical literature says is good for someone who is obese. Problem was, this person could not stick to this diet for more than 3 days without completely going off the wagon, having a binge, eating everything in the fridge. And so when I was talking with him, one of the things that I asked him, I said, at the end of the 3 days when you have your binge, is it because you're truly that hungry? Or because psychologically I've told you you can't have carbs, and so you go hog wild and it's mental? And he told me it was largely mental. So what we did, pretty simple. I gave him 2 pieces of gluten-free toast per day after his workout. That's it. Plain and simple, in addition to the rest of his diet being ketogenic. And you know what? It worked like magic. He was able to stick to it for the long haul. He knew he could eat low carb for most of the day because he had 2 pieces of delicious toast coming. And I even let him put jam on it. Okay, now is that optimal for someone who's 35% body fat, and is it going to get them in shape in the fastest amount of time? No, but it's a heck of a lot better than having him go for 3 days, binge, clean out the entire pantry, and then have to start all over again with feelings of guilt, shame, and lack of success and failure. So Again, you have to understand where you are and you have to understand what's effective for you. This comes into play with cheat meals too. I myself thrive on one cheat meal per week. I can eat well throughout the week, and then if I have that one good meal to look forward to at the end of the week. Other people like my wife likes to have a little tiny treat every night, and that works better for her than having a big cheat meal at the end of the week. So to each their own, but the message from today's video, if you take away one thing, is the best diet for you is the one A, that works, and B, that you can stick to for the long term. I'm Coach Ryan from the Fat Loss Solution. I hope you learned something today. I'll see you next time.